What's up, everybody? It's your boy 45 back in the building. Another edition of the Hot Seat. I got a extra special guest with me today. I actually went to high school with this person. Yeah, that's right. I'm educated. I went to high school with this person. We went to a prep school together in San Marcos, Texas, called SMA, San Marcos Baptist Academy. Now she's a beautiful mom, a loving wife, and she does real estate. Welcome to the show, Paige Kimball.
Hot seat.
So,
Hi.
what's been up, buddy?
Nothing. Just living my life in my cookie cutter world over here.
So you ready for the 20-year reunion or what?
That's not happening. You know it's not happening. You kidding me? We couldn't even do a 10-year. There's not a 20-year.
At all? It's not happening?
I doubt it unless you're putting it together.
Ooh. So, the reason why we're here today. So, man, it's been like forever though, dude. Like, you're a mom, you got twins. What is that? What is that like? Twins. That's two. That's four hands, two mouths, double sets of complaints. How do you balance
everyone
that?
asks me that, and here's the thing though, I don't know any different. So to me, it's not hard. It's not easy. It's not hard. It's all I know. And we said we wanted two kids. We got two, one and done. So now I will say this. I think I have it easier than people that only have one kid because I never had to sit down and play Barbies with my girls. They always entertain themselves, you know, not that some people want to do that. That wasn't something I wanted to do. So they've always got a built-in playmate. They've always got a partner, and I think they're really well adjusted because of that. And they're good girls. I mean, they're 8 going on 18, but they're good kids.
Now I noticed, did one of them get a haircut or did they both get a haircut?
No, one of them had to get a haircut yesterday because she's chosen not to brush her hair correctly for the last 3 days and built the biggest freaking rat's nest I've ever seen in my life in the back of her head. So we finally just gave up after hours of trying to untangle it and chopped it off.
Does she like her haircut?
Well, she can't tell because it's underneath in the back. But, oh my God, it was awful. It was awful. It literally was like a rat's nest. It was disgusting. I thought she'd like gotten gum or something in her hair, or like she pissed off a neighbor and they put glue in her hair or something. Like, I really thought something was put in her hair and she was not aware of it. It was that bad.
So are your girls involved in any type of sports or anything like that?
No. So me and my husband I think we're considered pretty athletic, and we somehow managed to have the most unathletic children possible. But no, they're very much into music. They love music.
Like singing and stuff like that, or just in
No,
general?
Blakely plays the guitar. She just did a school project, and granted, she's 8 years old. She just did a school project and did it on Bonnie Raitt. Like, that's what she wanted to do it on. She actually wanted to do it on Janis Joplin, but when the teacher called me and said, the only thing out there on Janis Joplin is that she was addicted to drugs and ended up overdosing and dying, she said maybe we should switch to a different person. And then Peyton she plays the piano, but she is obsessed with basketball, even though she's never played it and doesn't want to play it. She did hers on Lisa Leslie. So
oh wow, that's dope.
Yeah, and so she told me yesterday she wants to be a professional basketball player when she gets older. However, she doesn't want to actually go play basketball right now. So, whatever.
Did you tell her that there are girls all across America right now playing basketball? This very second.
I tried to tell her, and in fact, I'm going to make them play. It's not going to be an option. They're going to play. I want them to try everything once, but she just
you tried track.
I don't think I tried track.
Oh, you tried track. You tried track in high school. You came out there.
You did?
Yep, but you didn't go back.
Yeah,
he was like, hell no.
I still don't like running, but
you were athletic. But you were athletic.
Yeah, I think I just never excelled in anything. I wasn't like great at basketball, but I played basketball.
Yeah, no, you were decent.
But yeah, I've always been active.
Yeah, you always been active. But you know what? I say this though, like, I would have never thought in a million years that you would have twins. So
Welcome to the club. Me
that's
neither.
does twins run in your family?
No, it was just that's what God blessed us with. And
God
I
is
cried
good.
when I found out I was having girls because I wanted boys my whole life and legit cut into two cakes. They were both pink and I cried because that's not what I wanted and I would not trade it for the world.
Now, do you want to have one more? Just
No, I don't think so. Arnold, my husband is 42 now or 43. Wait, I don't know. 40. He just
he
turned
looks
43.
25,
42.
by
I
the
don't know.
way.
Anyways,
He looks
he
25.
does. That's what not drinking will do for you. He's just like, I don't want to be a grandpa having another kid, graduating high school at some point. So he's like, we said we wanted two, we got two. So that was it.
Okay. Now, let's get down to the nitty gritty, man. So real estate, right? What exactly that you do in the real estate game? Do you sell houses, or like is it that you take properties and you flip them on your own? Like what is it that you do with real estate?
So I don't flip. That's more of the investing side of things. I personally help buyers and sellers. And mind you, each state does things a little differently. But here in Texas, I personally I can help buyers and sellers. I used to be on a team where I could only help buyers. So because that was something that I got really good at, I tend to still work more so with buyers than I do sellers. But they are very different. So essentially, if somebody wants to buy a home, there's a process. And if somebody wants to sell their home, there's a process. And of course, no two transactions will ever be alike. But yeah, so basically I don't know what details you want to go into, but
The everything. I want you to be like, listen, I mean, we got you on here. I want to take advantage of your free time. I know it's very little free time that you do get throughout the day because you do have twins and you are married and you have a career. But I want you to take this time. I want you to educate the people out there who may listen in, who may be maybe first time buyers or who may have dealt with foreclosures or anything like that. So
okay. Well, so for instance, let's say somebody came to me and said, I've never bought a home and I want to go buy a home. So what I would do first is I would try to sit down with them. And of course, in these times, it's a little different. I do it on FaceTime, but essentially I have a small little, Cliff's Notes packet of what to expect throughout the process. And with that, the first thing you want to do when you are looking to buy a home is get your budget. The last thing you want somebody to do is say, I love this home, I want to go look at it. And then you find out later they're nowhere near even able to buy that house. And when I started out, I would go show anybody homes without knowing their budget because I didn't know any better. But it's a waste of both of our times if we do that. So the first thing you want to do when you want to purchase a home is obtain a budget. And if you're not paying cash, you need to get a lender. And so that's the first step throughout the entire process. And I, of course, have preferred lenders that I work with. And I always tell my clients too, because there's so many different options with loans out there and what people can and cannot do, because it comes down to your income, your credit history. There's so many factors involved, but that's what the lender's for. So I'm here to help you buy a house and negotiate and do all those fun things. But when it comes to the money, that's the lender. And essentially you have a period of time. Let's say it's typically like a 30, 60-day period where you can shop for a lender. So people are so scared to like hit up a lender or fill out anything online, because they say, oh, it's going to affect my credit. Well, the good thing with big purchases like a house that are a necessity in life, you only get the one hit one time. So let's say you have 30 days to shop for a lender and you only get the one credit ding that one time. But those other lenders are going to see that you were hit that one ding. It's still not like a huge impact on your credit because, again, it's a necessity that you have to, and not that you have to buy a house, but it's something that people do need. So it's not a huge credit hit like if you were to go open up a credit card and you're trying to buy a car kind of situation.
now, what's a good amount?
Step.
What is a good amount of money that somebody would need to bring to the table to say, okay, I'm serious about buying a home? Like, what is the amount of money? What is a good down payment?
Well, it depends on the loan you're going to do. And again, the lender I work with, she does a lot of loans where first of all, I would say 10% is a good amount. 10 to 20% is a good amount, first of all. However, there can be loans and gift bonds and all. There's so many different things out there that some people may not even have to bring a dime down. Now, granted, it's better if you have it, of course, but there's so many different options that lenders can provide for you. And that's where I try to like step aside because I'm not trained in that aspect of how that works with, like, that's why the lender is there. And that's why I team with certain lenders. Cause she's like, you're the house person, I'm the money person, and I'm the numbers. You don't want to know my job. I don't want to know yours. So like, that's why I team up really well, especially with one of the lenders I work with, because we stay out of that for each other so that I'm not saying something I shouldn't know or that I'm giving wrong information and vice versa. So to answer your question, 10 to 20% is always a really good point. But I always say speak to the lender first to understand what's the best option for you and what you need to do or what you may not have to do.
Now, what does somebody's credit need to be? Like as far as when trying to purchase a home, like where does
There's
that?
not,
What does
and
that need
again,
to
this
be?
is all, there's no like set number. I've seen people go all the way down to the low sixes, even five. I mean, that's really skating, but I mean, you can still get a loan, but obviously it's not going to be a great situation, but there's still options for people in that range of credit scores.
Okay, so if somebody said, "Man, I want to buy $1 million house." They say, "Yo, can you get me into $1 million home?" Where where in Texas are you taking them? They want a million
Well, I'm
dollar
in
home.
Kyle, and we don't have $1 million homes in Kyle. Now, to give you a little perspective of the difference, my house personally would probably cost at least a million something if it was downtown Austin. My house is worth
Say that one more time. How
300,
much would it be?
like over $1 million in downtown Austin. But I live 15 minutes south of Austin, and my house is appraised at, I believe we just had it appraised at 355,
Wait a minute.
and I
Wait a
live
minute. Wait a
15
minute.
minutes south
Wait
of
a
Austin.
minute. You trying to tell me that 15 minutes further down the road, your house is $1 million home,
Yeah,
and then 15
it's
minutes
all
further
about
away,
location.
it's only worth 350 racks?
Yeah. And you could not get my house in downtown Austin because of the size. Downtown Austin doesn't provide that. So it's all location, location, location. So it's just, you have to understand it's now I know Houston, that whole thing is, I couldn't even begin to understand their market or anything. And same with Dallas. Like, I only know the Austin, Central Texas, right here to New Braunfels, basically, region.
Yeah, so like my like to be more specific with my question is that if somebody came to you and they said they wanted to buy $1 million house, like what is the
I would
area
say,
that you're
what is your
taking it?
lend? Well, okay. If I had proof that they could afford that, I'm taking them to Austin. I'm taking them to the Lakeway area. I'm taking them. Well, it depends on what they want. Like, really, anybody can say, I want this price house, but that kind of doesn't make sense to a realtor. I need to know where you want to be, what areas you want to be in. Okay, well, if you want to be near the lake, well, if you want that kind of house, this is where I have to take you to. So
So they have
it
they
varies.
have $1 million houses all over the city of Austin in different places. It's not just by like the lake and all that other stuff. It's they're
Oh
spread out.
no, there's $1 million homes a lot. Now you can get $1 million home that's 1,800 square feet in Austin someplace. I mean, you can get a teeny tiny home that's worth $1 million because it's all about location. But
Mhm.
Terrytown, which is pretty much west of downtown Austin, I don't know if you're familiar with it. Those are all very, very high priced homes. Now, granted, a lot of them are older and bigger, but I don't know. It just all varies. There's a lot of places in Austin where they're tearing down crappy places and building up these expensive townhomes and condos. So it's all location, really.
Now that was my next question. When it comes to like getting a condo, does buying a condo work the same way as buying a home, or is the process a little bit different?
The process is a little different because it depends on the way it's. So with a condo, you're in a situation where the actual like plot, like, it depends. I'm not even actually going to touch on that because I'm not familiar with it enough because I don't deal with condos. So I'm not going to really touch on that, but it is different
Got
because
you.
you're not dealing with one dwelling. You're dealing with a building with multiple dwellings,
Mm,
if that makes sense.
got
But
you.
yes,
Got you.
it's not, it is different. Yes.
Now, what initially attracted you to real estate? What made you say, you know what, I want to try that out. This looks kind of cool.
So I have dabbled in several different careers, and I graduated with a communication studies degree, planning to go into you know TV media. I interned at a news station in college, and I absolutely loved it because I did the crime beat, and that was just like to this day would have been my dream job, but it's underpaid and everyone in that news place seemed to hate it. So it kind of turned me off from even going that route. So I kind of just didn't
Wait a
really know
minute.
what I wanted.
Wait a minute. Time out. So let me get this straight. So you solve crimes, like you
No, 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 no,
like
no.
talked about.
No, I assisted with a videographer on like the camera guy. He would go
Uh-huh.
and take, B-roll film for the newscasters or the whoever was involved in whatever they were like putting on TV that night, and so the reporters and stuff like that. And so if you can't have reporters go to every single scene, so he would go take video, take notes, send it back so that the reporter could report it in the evening news. So he was going to crime scenes, whether it was a hit and run, whether it was just something stupid. You never knew what you were going to because it was all from police scanners. So
Oh wow. Okay.
we got a call one time that it was a hit and run for bicyclists on an area where a lot of bicyclists ride. And we're like, great, another bicyclist not paying attention and got clipped by a car, whatever. Well, we show up and the person's dead in the middle of the road. So you never knew what you were going to. And as much as I thought I was prepared for that, after seeing so many different dead people or scenes where there was a dead person, I just couldn't take the personal side of it out. And I just realized it wasn't for me.
Now, do
And
you
then, of
bike
course, like,
ride?
not, I mean, I have a bike, but it's not like I go bike riding.
I'm just
But you know
trying
what
to
I mean?
lighten the
Like,
mood. That sounded a
yeah,
little. That was horrible.
it was bad. Yeah,
I
so I
just
just realized it wasn't for me. And then I started working at Nordstrom. And from there, I was dating my now husband. And I think we were engaged at that point, and he was in oil and gas at the time. His boss was like, hey, you want to bring Paige in? Because it meant that he got more money. So I went the oil and gas route for several years and made a ridiculous amount of money and just didn't love the job. So I just kind of could not figure out where I wanted to go. Got my esthetician license, went and did that. And again, it just didn't pay the money. So I went from making a lot of money, not liking what I did, to loving what I do, but not making the money. And I had some friends
what
that
was
were
it
in real
about the
estate
job that you didn't like?
in oil and gas.
What was it about that job? Yeah, what was it about that job that you just say, it's not for me?
It's just not interesting. It's not fun. It's not. It's going to courthouses all over states or all over the state in different counties and just going researching a bunch of crap, putting it into a thing, and that being it. I don't know. It just wasn't something I enjoyed. It didn't
Got you.
bring
It
any
wasn't
sort of.
fulfilling.
No, it just the money was again great, but I was just like, I can't do this forever. And coming from a family of oil and gas, knowing that it always crashes at some point. If my husband and I are both in the business, where does that leave us if we both are out of work? So,
Got you. That was gonna be my next question, but go ahead and finish. Go ahead and finish your thought about what drove you. So you got your license and you had some
well, no,
friends that were in
I
real.
knew some people. Sorry, my kids are asking me a million questions. I was, I have a lot of people that, or I was watching a lot of people join real estate just through Facebook, and I was like, you know what? If they can do it, why can't I? And I've always been a people person. I really enjoy people. And when I was doing the oil and gas, I was home alone a lot. I mean, the girls were really young, and I just didn't get that human interaction that I really felt I was craving basically. And so I was like, you know what, maybe that's something I could do where I'm legitimately helping people. And I knew nothing about the money side of it. Like I assumed you made good money, but I had no concept of the actual like making money in real estate. And so I had messaged a few people and just like wanted to pick their brain about real estate. And a friend of mine had just been doing it for about a year, and she was like, "Why don't you meet me and my team leader at the time, and we'll chit chat." And so I don't know if you remember, but I was doing Beachbody at that time, just on the side as a
Yeah.
Beachbody coach. Again, I've dabbled in a million different things. And because I do love fitness, and she had seen my presence on Facebook with, all that, and said, I think you're good in the marketing sense. So if you want to get your license, I'll bring you on my team. And so that's kind of how it started.
Got you. Now, do you remember your first commission on the very first house property you sold?
I don't.
You don't remember?
No, and it sounds ridiculous, but I mean, I'm fortunate enough to be in a position where I don't have to worry about every single paycheck I get. Yes, I need it, but it's not something that, like, I'm not a single mom having to pay my bills with what I make. I do have a husband that has a successful job. So I'm very fortunate in that sense to where, but I don't know. I don't remember what it was. I mean, it was definitely it would have been, I'm trying to think which one my first house was. It was I had to split my commission in half with that team leader. So what it would have been versus what I got, like it would have probably been, granted, all the houses in our area range from around 200,000 to at most 400,000 in our area. And so if it was about, I would say it was probably about $3,000 to $4,000 my first check.
Man, that's nice.
That's nice. And you're if it's a good, from start to finish, a deal is usually 30 to 45 days. So, but it would have been double that if I wasn't paying somebody else half that money.
Oh wow! So you would have got like 6,000 to 8,000.
Yes, and I'm no longer with that situation, so I do make a lot more money per transaction than I was before.
Oh wow!
I don't have to split it half. I don't split it half with anybody.
So, what advice would you give somebody that wants to go into real estate?
Be prepared.
What advice would you give them?
It is. You can make so much money in this job. The hardest part, I think, about this career is marketing yourself. Our area is saturated with agents, and every single day I know somebody else becoming an agent, because everyone thinks, and it's this like glamorous thing that you can just make a lot of money off of, because nobody's seeing the grit that goes in between, when you first meet the client to when you close on a house. We're not putting all that mess out there because we don't want people to be scared of it. It's an intense process. Some are super easy. I've got one that just closed this past week. It was the easiest deal in the world. And then I've got, another one that's been really, really hard since November, and it closes June 1st. So there's variations in it. It's a tough job, and there's so much legality behind it. You definitely need a really good support system with who your brokerage and your team or whatever it may be is with. I learned a lot in my first couple of years in this business with a team that was not good to me. Good to me, yes, but not in as well. Like, I did not leave that situation in a great space.
Gotcha.
I am with an amazing brokerage now that I just adore. I love every single person I work with. It's a constant build up. It's a constant wanting to make me a better realtor, making me, it's not about money. It's about genuinely making me better at what I do. And that to me is huge. If you're with a brokerage or an agency that is only concerned about what money you're going to give them, that's not the right place. I can assure you that. I can tell you right now, it's definitely not a good place to be. And it costs money to do this job. There's so much money that you have to put into it before you even make that first paycheck. And that's why the percent of agents that drop out, like after their 2 years is up, they don't renew their license, because it's such a hard job to make money in the first, when you're starting out, for sure.
Got you. Now you're not originally from Texas, right? Where are you from?
Well, I was born in Louisiana. We came to San Marcos. I was raised in San Marcos for the most part when I was 4. My family's still in Louisiana, but so we moved here because my dad wanted to go to UT. And he was already in the oil business, and they basically said, you've already got too much experience. Your degree won't do anything more for you. But they fell in love with San Marcos, and that's why we stayed. And then because he was in oil and gas, we went to Saudi Arabia when I was 15, which is when I would have met you the following year.
That's when we met. Right,
Yeah.
right. Now, where did you end up going to college at?
I ended up graduating from Texas State.
Okay.
Yeah. Didn't leave.
And now you're still in the area. That's what's up. That's what's
well,
up,
we moved
man.
to Dallas for a while, Dallas Fort Worth area. Hated it, but
Are you not a Cowboys fan like everybody else?
Huge Cowboys fan. What are you talking about? But they're in Arlington, 1, and 2. Whatever. Stop it.
Yeah, this interview's over. We're gonna have to go ahead.
Whatever.
No, I'm just playing.
No, all my neighbors are Texans fans, so I get it. Shoot, my neighbor's dogs are
they
named
get
Astro
booze too.
and
The Texans get booze too. We traded away our best player for like Cracker Jacks. Yeah.
Yeah, my neighbor's dogs are Rocket and Astro, if that gives you any idea.
That's nice.
Yeah, so we lived in Dallas for a while. I loved it. I mean, I hated it. And then we ended up just loving the neighborhood that we're in now so much. So we actually bought our house before we ever moved down here. And God knew where we were supposed to be, because within that month, our job of 2 years up there got transferred down here. So then we've just been out here ever since.
Man, that's dope, man. Well, I'm so glad. I'm so thankful for you to take some time out of your busy schedule and talk to us about real estate and your journey a little bit, and opened up to us about your family life and home life, things like that. So before we get out of here, go ahead and tell the people how they can get in touch with you if they're in the market to buy a home, or just want to look at properties, anything like that. How can they reach you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Facebook, Paige Laurel, and then, or I think it's Paige _ Laurel. Actually, I'm not sure. Same with Instagram, and then of course my email, paigelaurel@gmail.com, and that's LAURELLE. Yeah, I'm pretty much available all the time. And then just a misconception, just real quick, that people don't realize with real estate and how the agents get paid. Buyers don't pay their buyer's agent. Sellers pay both agents in the transaction. So when you're working as the buyer's agent, which is why I think I like it so much, I'm not doing it. Obviously, I'm getting paid. Obviously, somebody is paying me. But when it comes to my clients, I'm doing it truly for their best interest, and hoping that the seller's agent, seller side does pay me the whatever I supposed to get paid. So I think that's why I really thrive working with buyers so much too, because they know that they are not paying me. So.
Got you. And on that note, man, it's your boy 45. This is another edition of the Hot Seat. If you want to be on the show, go ahead and reach out to me on all platforms, Top Down Magazine, all platforms, Top Down Magazine TV. Yeah, you have a good day.